If you're buying or selling a house, you need to know the truth about termite inspections. We've been in the pest control business since 1977. With over 4,000 inspections that we perform every single year, we see a lot of stuff. But one thing I do see is that a lot of realtors and a lot of homeowners have a misconception about what a termite inspection actually is. And so when you have misconceptions coupled with misunderstandings, guess what? You have big problems. So today, I'm going to personally take you through this house on a real live termite inspection, and we're going to go over the top 8 most common misconceptions when it comes to termite inspections. I don't know what we're going to find in there, but I do know what you're going to discover, and that's going to be the truth. So whether you're a homeowner or a realtor, you're going to be better prepared to cut down any chaos or confusion when it comes to termite inspections. Let's go. The biggest and most common misconceptions when it comes to termite inspections is when you have a clean report, it means no termites. That could be furthest from the truth, okay? Because we're looking for visible evidence at the time of inspection. And termites, all they need is a width of a sheet of paper to get inside your home. So what does that mean? That means we cannot see behind windowsills. We can check the integrity of it and we can see if there's any visible evidence, but we can't see behind that. We can't see behind the baseboards. We can look for visible evidence. We can't see behind the sheetrock. We can look for visible evidence, right? Termites only need a width of a sheet of paper to get into your home. So behind cabinets, flooring, and even on this house right here, it's made of brick. You cannot see behind the brick. Termites can come behind that brick and get into a home and undetected. So when we're doing a termite inspection, we're looking at accessible areas and behind wall voids, behind cabinets, behind appliances, behind flooring, behind brick and vinyl siding, all that's inaccessible. We can't get to any of that. And only if there's visible evidence can we see if there's termites back there or not. Because they need to know that a clean report does not mean no termites. You realize that this house is empty. Like we're walking through this house and we're doing an inspection on this house. And thank God that it is empty because we can do a better inspection on it when it's empty. But most of the time, the houses are full of furniture, full of personal items, full of things that are just cluttering. We got pictures on the wall, curio cabinets. We have so much, we have toys. We have so many things in this house that it's hard for us to be able to inspect. You can only really inspect probably about 17 to 25% of that house on the inside and the outside. So here's what I recommend. Even if you have a clean termite inspection report, you still need to get a termite treatment on that home. Now, termite treatments are a necessity if you live in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, or even Texas, because there's 20 to 25 termite colonies per acre of land in these areas. And I know in Florida alone, they're just everywhere. So when you think about that many termites and all they need is the width of a sheet of paper to get inside your home, you better get a termite treatment on your home or you're going to be in trouble. Because a lot of people think that when they're buying or selling a house and it says clean report, that it means no termites. That's simply not true. Matter of fact, let me tell you a story. There was a time when I did a termite inspection and I didn't find any evidence of termites. And 6 months later, termites swarmed out of the sheetrock. I mean, when they came out of the sheetrock, there was thousands of them. And I remember the homeowner called up and they were very mad. They were upset. And I don't blame them because they don't understand. They had a misconception about what a termite inspection was. They said, hey, you told me we had no termites. And I said, no, that's not what that report says. The report doesn't say you don't have termites. It just says at the time of inspection, there was no visible evidence at that time. That's why we always tell people, get a termite treatment on your home. This is not a guarantee against termites. Misconception number 2, that this is just a termite inspection. Wrong. So whenever you're buying or you're selling a house and you're thinking that you're getting a termite inspection, it's not just a termite inspection. It's much more than that. See, in Florida, we call it a WDO inspection. Now, what does that stand for? That means a wood destroying organism inspection. Now, of course, it involves termites, but it also involves wood boring beetles, powder post beetles, old house borer beetles. Also, it includes wood decay fungi. And so we're looking at door jambs and looking at baseboards and looking at windowsills, and we're looking for any wood decay fungi or water damage. A lot of people call it water damage in that home. So they think it's just a termite inspection, but it's not. It's more than that. It's greater than that. It goes further and deeper and broader and wider than just a termite inspection, okay? And so when you're talking about this termite inspection, just know that it stands for WDO inspection, wood destroying organism inspection, and it has to deal with termites, wood decay fungi, wood-borne beetles, things of that nature. Now, I will say this. Now, there's a lot of companies that will put carpenter ants and carpenter bees on that report because carpenter ants will burrow into the wood, and so do carpenter beetles. They'll drill a little hole in the wood and they'll lay their eggs in there. They're not reportable on the WDO in Florida. So just know in Florida, you have carpenter ants or carpenter bees, it's not reportable on our report. But termites, wood-borne beetles, and wood decay fungi, they are reportable on that report. Just know that it's more than just a termite inspection. A misconception number 3 is that people think just because you had a clean WDO that it guarantees you from any future issues. They think just because they had a clean termite inspection report a year ago that that's going to give them some type of future protection, but it doesn't. Because remember I told you there's 20 to 25 termite colonies per acre of land in Florida? Guess what? They can show up in your house tomorrow. Matter of fact, there was a story of a guy. I went to go give him a termite estimate on his home, and we were walking around his home, and I looked down, I said, there's a termite mud tube right there. And he said to me, where? And I pointed it out to him, and he looked down and he said, that wasn't here yesterday. I said, really? I said, may I ask you, how do you know that that wasn't here yesterday? He said, I was walking around my home with another company getting an estimate, and we walked around the home and that mud tube was not there the day before. So just because you had a clear WDO report last year, or even 6 months ago, or even 3 months ago, that doesn't mean anything. Because termites can show up at your house at any time. They're randomly foraging at every square inch of earth around their colony, and when they find a food source, they're gonna send a scent trail back to the colony and let everybody know that there's food at the end of this trail, and oftentimes, it's your house. So just because you had a clean WDO report doesn't guarantee you against future protection from WDOs. So just know that. Misconception number 4 is that all homes must have a WDO inspection. That's not true. When you have FHA loans or VA loans, they're always going to require a WDO inspection. But guess what? Not everybody gets financing. Some people got a little bit of money and they can pay cash for that house. Now, if you're paying cash for that house, it's up to the buyer whether or not they want to pay anywhere from $100 to $200 for that inspection. And I'm going to tell you something, it's well worth the money. Well worth the money. Not every home is required to have a WDO or a termite inspection on it. So if you're paying cash, You don't have to do that, but I want you to know it is recommended. You don't want to buy a house without a termite inspection on it, because these guys are going to go through every square inch of your house from top to bottom, attic, outside, whole 9 yards. They're going to see things that you couldn't see. They're going to notice things that even home inspectors probably missed. And so just know that not every home needs to have one, but it's recommended that every home has one. Misconception number 5 is that the home inspection covers WDOs. It doesn't. Home inspectors are not termite inspectors unless they are licensed. Only a licensed termite inspection can give you the findings of a WDO inspection, not a home inspection. So if you have a home inspection, and sometimes they will note water damage or signs of termites, they do that as a courtesy, but they are not licensed individuals. Now, if they do that, they have to be licensed. Now, most of the home inspectors that I run into are not licensed, but they do note areas of evidence of damage, and they'll notice evidence of mud tubes and things of that nature, or even water damage. They'll note that down, but they will always say, recommend getting a wood destroying organism inspection on that home. So just because you had a home inspection done on the home and they noted a few things, I would still get a WDO or a termite inspector out to your house, one that is licensed and trained to give you the proper findings of what's going on in that house. Now, home inspections are good. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't buy a home without a home inspection, but I also wouldn't buy a home without a termite or a WDO inspection either. So you're going to need to get that done, but don't confuse the two, because a lot of people confuse a termite inspection with a home inspection, and they're two different things, two different people with two different types of qualifications. All right, misconception number 5, that a termite bond is the same thing as a termite inspection. It's not. It's not. Let me show you. Now, this house that we're on right now, it has previously been treated. You see the drill holes in the patio? Also, they have Centricon termite baiting system around their home as well. Been scuffed up a few times, probably with a weed whacker or a lawnmower. But this home has been treated for termites with a liquid and with a baiting system. You can see here in the brick where they drilled the holes in the brick because they had to get the chemical on the other side of that brick, because termites can come up in behind this brick because there's a gap in between the brick and the foundation of the home. And so termites can come up underneath there undetected. Matter of fact, these window areas are hotspot areas because they collect a lot of moisture. And so termites can come up in behind the brick and eat on the inside of that home, go back and forth undetected. And so a lot of people think just because a home has been treated for termites, they don't need to have a WDO inspection. Matter of fact, I get that all the time. People are like, I got a bond with so-and-so. I got a bond with this company. I pay them every single year to come out here and say, no, you have a termite protection plan with that company. We're looking for WDOs. And that could be, remember I told you before that it's much more than just termites. We're looking at wood destroying beetles and also water damage or wood decay fungi. And so a lot of times those guys are coming out on their annual inspection. They're not looking for water damage or anything like that. They're just simply looking to see if you have termites or not. That's it. So don't get confused to thinking that just because you have a termite bond, that's the same as a termite inspection. Now, when they come out to do your termite inspection or your annual renewal every single year, make sure they go up in the attic. A lot of times they don't go in the attic. Let them go. Tell them, hey, you gonna go in the attic? Remind them, say, hey, what about the attic? You gonna go look in the attic this year? Because a lot of times they won't. So anyway, that's just a tidbit. Matter of fact, thank you for watching this video. Hey, matter of fact, if you've gotten a little bit of value out of this video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. We got a lot of good content. It's entertaining, it's educational, and man, I would love for you to do that. So please just hit that subscribe button right now. And I just want to say thank you in advance. Matter of fact, Go ahead and hit the like button, comment. If you got any comments about what we're talking about today, termites, any kind of bug, put them down in the chat below. I would love to hear from you, and I will get back to you. Misconception number 6, and the good thing we're at this house right here is because a lot of times people think just because they live in a brick house or a block house, they don't need a WDO inspection. They think termites ain't going to get into a brick house. Yes, they will. They will get into a brick house or a block house. As a matter of fact, I seen in a block house before, they went through the hollow block all the way to the attic and was eating the trusses away in the attic on the 3rd story. And so just because you have a brick home or you have a block home, that doesn't mean anything. You still need to get a termite inspection. You're still going to need to probably have a termite treatment done on it. And just like on this home earlier, I was showing you, it's already been treated. It's got drill holes in it. It has baiting system around it. And you know what? It's got a baiting system around it for a reason. It's got drill holes on it for a reason. You know what that tells me? It tells me that they've already had termites in this house at one time or another. And so I'm going to tell you something. That's a risk that you take, that whenever you buy a home in Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, or Texas, that at some point you've probably had termites in that home at some point in that house's history. There's so many termites around, and they're foraging at every square inch of earth around their colony in search of food. And so the likelihood of you having termites is pretty strong at one point or time. That's why we always recommend a termite inspection, and we always recommend a termite treatment. So don't think just because you have a block home or a brick home that you don't need a termite inspection, because you do. Because here's the thing, they'll not only get in behind that brick, but you have these door jambs that can come in through these little cracks here and get into the home. We see a lot of termite damage around the doors and around the windows because those are hot spots, because they collect a lot of water. They collect a lot of water. And I'll tell you another thing, that on these block homes and wood homes, we find a lot of water damage or wood decay fungi around the doors and window sills too, because they just simply leak. So don't think just because you have a block home or a brick home that you don't need an inspection. You need an inspection. Let me give you one funny one. This is misconception number 7, is that they think that since they had a WDO or a termite inspection that it included a treatment. It doesn't. An inspection is an inspection. When you look on the report, there is a spot on the report, especially in Florida, and I'm sure other states are the same way, and it will have on there, was there a treatment at time of inspection? It's going to either be checked yes, or it's going to be checked no, okay? And so when you get that report, look down on it and see if it's been treated. Most of the time, it's not. But there's a lot of people, they think, oh, you did a termite inspection. Oh, I got a termite treatment. No, you didn't. You need to look and see. And if you did have a treatment, there's going to be a contract or some type of service agreement that goes along with your paperwork. Okay, so you need to read that. And that's one of the biggest things that I run into also, is that people don't read the inspection report. And I will say this as a side note, if you are a realtor and you want somebody to come and explain the WDO report to you or to your agents, just reach out to me, 850-874-1900. I'll be glad to come out and I'll do a seminar. I'll provide lunch and we'll have a good old time, right? And I'll explain to you, I'll explain to your agents exactly how to read a termite inspection report, okay? So look at the report, see if it's been treated, because there's sometimes people think that it includes a treatment, and honestly, it does not include any type of treatment. Misconception number 8. This is the last one that we're going to be dealing with today. And people think just because they have a new home that they don't need a termite inspection. They only think that it's an old home and we need a termite inspection because it's an older home. No, every home needs a termite inspection. Matter of fact, I have to tell you this story. There was a house that was 3 to 4 months old. And they called me out there and they said, listen, we found something that doesn't look right. And what do you think it is? We think it's ants. And when I went out there and I inspected it, it was around the door frame. Remember, I told you earlier, door frames are hot spots for termites. Well, sure enough, the house was 3 to 4 months old and it had termites in the door frame already. And I'm going to tell you why that happened. It happened because during the termite treatment process, while they were building it, something got missed. Something got messed up. And so that's what allowed the termites that were in the ground to come up into the home and do some damage. 3 to 4 months old. House was only 3 to 4 months old and ended up getting termites. Just because you have an old home, you think that you need one, or just because you think because you have a new home, you don't need one. Every home needs a termite inspection on it. Okay. And so if you know these misconceptions about termite inspections, you're better prepared, you're better equipped. You know, it's going to cut down on the chaos, going to cut down on the confusion, because now you're better prepared to know what you're doing and what you're getting. Because if you don't know what you're getting, and you don't know what it entails, it's going to lead to a lot of problems. And so listen, if you're a realtor or even if you're a homeowner, man, we want to help you out and we want to be there for you. And that's why we have this channel. We have this channel because we want to equip you. We want to give you the knowledge and the expertise. Okay, so you can see things for yourself and also to create a relationship and a connection with us that way. And you feel like you can call us anytime, and you can call our office anytime and we'll answer any questions that you may have. So listen, I want to say thank you for watching this video. Thank you for subscribing to our channel. And as always, God bless.